Here's the radicals quiz. Okay. Um Here is question 1. So guys have to simplify these radicals. So let's begin. Now, just to recall, remember if it's a square root, then that is square roots, you guys, are look like this. So whenever you guys have square roots, just know that you are trying to find your guys' pairs. So 7, I don't need to simplify 7 because 7 and 1 is just 7 and 1, and there's no pairs in there. But for 54, you most certainly do. So 9 and 6, 3, 3, 3, 2. I'm just going to do all of these. 8 is 4 times 2, 4 is 2 times 2. 63 is 9 and 7, and 3 and 3. So remember, if it's a square root, then you are looking for pairs. So pair, there's a pair, and there's a pair. So now let's simplify. We get negative 3 radical 7 minus 3. Now remember, we just found a pair of 3's. So the pair of 3's, you guys, is just represented by just 1, 3. That comes from the pair, you guys. Radical 3 times 2, because the 3 and 2, you guys, is our leftovers. Okay, moving on, minus 4. We found a pair of 2's. So one pair of 2's gets to come out. Radical leftovers 2. And then this last one, you guys, a pair of 3's we found. So a 3 gets to come on the outside, and the leftovers have to stay on the inside. Okay, we simplify. Negative 3 times 3 is negative 9. Square root 3 times 2, 6. Minus 4 times 2, which is 8. Radical 2 minus 3 radical 7. Now, I am noticing that this and this, you guys, are the same. They have the same root. The radical 7, you guys, they have the same root and radicand. So since both of them are radical 7, that means you can combine like terms. Negative 3 minus 3, you guys, is negative 6 radical 7, and then just drop the rest. And that will be your guys' answer. Okay, part B. So same type of deal, okay? You guys just have to find, now notice it's a root of 4, so that means you're trying to find a group of 4. Right here, this means you're trying to find a group of 3. And then so on, right? So that root, you guys, tells you what group you are looking for. So you gotta factor all these, right? 81 and 3, 27 and 3, 9 and 3, 3 and 3. 54, 9 and 6, just factoring 3 and 3, 3 and 2. 8 is 4 and 2, factors of 4, 2 and 2, and 243, you guys, is same thing. So 81 and 3. Oh, I could have just done 9 and 9. 3 and 3, 3 and 3. Alright, so for this first one, right, you're trying to find a group of 4. So here is my group of 4 of 3's, right? For this one, we're trying to find a group of 3. So I found a group of 3 of 3's, a group of 3 of 2's, and a group of 4 of 3's. Okay, now let's simplify our expression. This 3 comes from this outside 3. So since we found a group of 3, that means we found one group of 4 of 3's, just one. So we just write 1, 3. And then remember, it's still a 4th root. Any leftovers? Yes, we have a leftover right there. So leftover of 3. minus 3 comes from the outside, right? We found a group of 3 of 3's, right? So this represents the grouping, and then we got a cube root of any leftovers, which is 2. So any group you guys find gets to come on the outside. All of the leftovers still stay in the root. Okay, minus 4. This comes from this. Okay, we found a group of 3 of 2's. So times 2. Remember, the group you guys gets to come on the outside. Just 1, because it represents one group of 2's. Now, there's no leftovers, which means there's no radical. Minus 4 coming from here. We found a group of 3's, so that gets to come on the outside, and on the inside, fourth root still, right, of 3, because that was the leftover 3. Then all we have to do right here, you guys, is basically just simplify. So 9, fourth root of 3, negative 3 times 3 is negative 9. Third root of 2, negative 4 times 2 is minus 8. And negative 4 times 3 is negative 12, fourth root of 3. Now, if you guys notice, this and this have the same root and radicand. If you guys take a look, they're the same, so you guys can combine like terms. 9 minus 12 is negative 3. You still keep that root, and then you just drop everything else. And that's your guys' answer for part B. Alright, so here's C, you guys. So first you gotta multiply top and bottom by the conjugate. So 3 plus 2 radical 3. Notice, you guys, the conjugate is the denominator, and you take the opposite of that sign right there. So you multiply top and bottom by the conjugate of the denominator. Alright, so when you guys multiply by the conjugate, these first two terms you multiply together, and these last two terms you guys multiply together. The reason why you guys do not distribute everything, because if you guys do multiply out and you guys get the middle terms, it's going to cancel. And then over here, you guys, you just have to distribute the 2 to both of them, and gotta distribute this negative 3 rad 3 to both of them. Alright, so here comes a lot of multiplying. Okay, let's follow the orange. 2 times 3, you guys, is 6. 2 times 2 rad 3, you guys, is 4 radical 3. Negative 3 radical 3, you guys, times 3, we're doing the pink, is negative 9 radical 3. And negative 3 radical 3 times 2 radical 3, you guys, is, so remember, outside times outside, inside times inside. 2 times negative 3 is negative 6. Radical 3 times radical 3 is radical 9. All over 3 times 3, doing the purple, is 9. Minus 2 times 2, you guys, is negative 4. And radical 3 times radical 3 is radical 9. Okay, let's simplify. So 6, we can combine these like terms. So 4 minus 9, you guys, is minus 5. Keep the same root, radical 3. Negative 6, the radical 9, you guys, is 3. So negative 6 times 3. All over 9 minus 4, square root of 9, you guys, is 3. Okay, so 6 minus 5 radical 3. 6 times 3, you guys, is negative 18. All over 9, 4 times 12. 4 times 3, you guys, is negative 12. And now 6 minus 18, you guys, is negative 12 minus 5 square root of 3. All over negative 3. So again, I don't like all the negative signs, so I'm just going to divide top and bottom by -1. You don't have to, but it just looks a lot nicer when everything we have is just positive. Okay. Part D, you guys. So this has to do with your guys' exponent rule. So first of all, this, you guys, when you guys have the same base and you multiply them, there's multiplication happening in between them. That means you add your guys' exponents. So we're gonna get k to the 4th times k to the -1, you guys, is 4 plus -1, which is k to the 3rd. All over k to the 2nd, a power raised to a power, you guys, you just multiply it. So k to the 2nd to the 3rd is k to the 6th. All of it is still to the 3rd power. Okay, so you guys could cancel k to the 3rd from top and bottom. So k to the 3rd divided by k to the 3rd, you guys, would just be a 1. K to the 6th divided by k to the 3rd is just k to the 3rd. Raise these both to the 3rd power, and then this 3rd power, you guys, gets distributed to each power on the inside. So 1 to the 3rd, k to the 3rd, to the 3rd. 1 to the 3rd, you guys, is 1. K to the 3rd to the 3rd power, you guys, is k to the 9th. And that that should be your guys' final answer. Okay, here. Now, when you guys do radical equation, you guys have to isolate the square root. So I'm going to add x to both sides so that the square root is going to be by itself. Square root of 11 minus 2x. Alright, so from this step, you guys, I can take both sides to be to the 2nd power. The reason why I'm doing this, you guys, is because if you take a square root to the 2nd power, they both cancel. So we're just going to get 11 minus 2x because, right, the square root and the 2nd power, you guys, cancel each other out. They're gone. Alright, please remember, you guys, x minus 4 to the 2nd is really this. And you're doing this stuff, right? So follow the blue path or orange pathway, x times x squared, x times -4, -4x. Now the green, -4 times x, -4x, -4 times -4, 16 equals that. So simplifying the left-hand side still, just combining like terms, -4x times -4x minus 4x, -8x plus 16 is equal to 11 minus 2x. And now we just gotta set the equation equal to 0. So I am just gonna move everything to go on the left-hand side. So add 2x to both sides. -8 plus 2 is -6x plus 16 equals 11. Minus 11 to both sides. X squared minus 6x plus 5 is equal to 0. Now, to solve for this quadratic or trinomial, you guys, we just gotta factor x minus 5, x minus 1. And if you guys forgot how to do that, that's the x method, right? So, two things that multiply to 5, but when added gives you -6, -5, and -1. Alright, these guys solve for x, so x minus 5 is equal to 0, x minus 1 is equal to 0, plus 1 plus 1, x equals 1, x plus 5, or x equals 5. Now remember, you guys have to check your answer by plugging both of these answer ins to see which one will give us an answer. So check your work. I'm going to plug in x equals 5 first into the equation. So -4 is equal to -5 plus radical 11 minus 2 times 5. Rewriting it, but I know 2 times 5, you guys, is -10. -4 is equal to -5 plus... Alright, 11 minus 10, you guys, is 1, and the square root of 1 is simply just going to be 1. Negative 4 is equal to negative 5 plus 1, you guys. Negative 4. Check. So you know x equals 5 is an answer. When we check x is equal to 1, negative 4 equals, remember, plug in negative 1 into the equation. Negative 4 equals negative 1 plus square root. Okay, 11 minus 2, you guys, is just 9. Negative 4 is equal to, I'll zoom in, negative 1 plus 3. Negative 4 is equal to 2. This is not correct, so that means x cannot be your answer. So your guys' only answer can be x is equal to 5. X equals 1, you guys, is what you guys call a extraneous solution. Alright, so there's that one, you guys. I'm going to move this somewhere else and just make it smaller. That looks to be good. Alright, B. Okay, so you guys have to just solve for n at this point. So add 8 to both sides. 108 is equal to 4 times 2n plus 31 to the 3/4 power. Divide both sides by 4. We're going to get 27 is equal to 2n plus 31 to the 3/4 power. Now, in order to get rid of that 3/4 power, you guys, you have to raise both sides to the reciprocal. Raise both sides to the reciprocal of that power. So the reciprocal of 3/4, you guys, is 4/3. So I'm going to raise both sides to the 4/3 power. This is going to cancel, you guys, to just be 1. So we're just going to have 2n plus 31. Now, remember, when you guys have this, the root, the denominator of that fraction is the root. So I'm going to rewrite it as cube root of 27 raised to the 4th power. Cube root of 27, you guys, is 3, which to the 4th power equals 2n plus 31. 3 to the 4th, you guys, is 81. And now you guys just solve for n. Subtract 31 from both sides. 50 equals 2n. Divide both sides by 2. So you should have gotten 25 is equal to n. Okay, now I'm going to plug that back into the original to see if we got the same answer. So 100 is equal to negative 8 plus 4 times 2 times 25 plus 31 to the 3/4 power. Negative 8 plus 4, 2 times 25, you guys, is 50 plus 31 to the 3/4 power. 100 is equal to negative 8 plus 4, 81 to the 3/4 power, plus 4. So remember, the denominator of that fraction is the root. So the 4th root of 81 raised all to the 3rd power. Negative 8 plus 4 times the 4th root of 81, you guys, is 3. 100 equals negative 8 plus 4 times 3 to the 3rd power is 27, you guys. 100 is equal to negative 8 plus 108. 100 equals to 100. Check. So that means n is equal to 25 for that problem. Alright, last two. Alright, so let's take a look. So I'm just going to make a table for us first of all, you guys. Let me write the original equation down here so that you guys all know. So here's the original equation, which is written above. F of x is equal to negative 2 radical x minus 1 plus 5. Alright, so first I'm just going to make a table, you guys. So recall, I try to get us to get square roots of 0, square roots of 1, and square roots of 4, just to give us some starting points. So what would you plug in for x to get a square root of 0? Well, I would plug in x to be 1. So if you guys did substitute 1 in for x, you guys would get something like this. 1 minus 1, you guys, square root of 0 plus 5, and negative 2 times square root of 0, you guys, is just negative 2 times 0, which is just 0. So then you're just going to get 0 plus 5, which is just 5. So 1 comma 5. That's our first point. Now let's find another point. Now we try to get a square root of 1. So what would we substitute in for x to get a square root of 1? Well, we would substitute in a 2. So negative 2 square root of 2 minus 1 plus 5 equals negative 2 square root of 1 plus 5. Negative 2 times 1 plus 5. Negative 2, you guys, times 1 is negative 2. Negative 2 plus 5 is 3. So when x is equal to 2, our y value is going to be 3. Now lastly, what would you substitute in for x to get a square root of 4 on the inside? Well, we would substitute in the 5. So negative 2 square root of 5 minus 1 plus 5. Negative 2 square root of 4 plus 5. Okay, we're going to get negative 2 square root of 4, you guys, is 2 plus 5. So negative 2 times 2, you guys, is negative 4. Negative 4 plus 5 is 1. So these are nice plots. Well, there's your guys' XY table, and these are nice things to just graph, so I'm going to graph it for us. 1 comma 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 is right there. 2 comma 3, 1, 2, 1, 2, 3 is right there. And 5 comma 1, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 5 comma 1 is right there. So your guys' graph is going to look like something like that. And let's note that this is our critical value, 1 comma 5. Critical value, you guys, this is our starting point. Alright, so there's the work on how you get your guys' coordinates. Now, let's find your guys' y-intercept. So your guys' y-intercept is when you set x equal to 0. So that means you guys just substitute an x in for 0 and for x, and then you guys just solve. So f of 0 is equal to negative 2 square root of 0 minus 1 plus 5. Negative 2 square root of negative 1 plus 5. I'm going to stop right there, you guys, because you know that this is going to give you an imaginary number. And if that gives you guys an imaginary number, then you can't really plot that right. So your y-intercept is going to be none for that problem. Okay, so mark that down. Now let's get your guys' root, which is also the x-intercept. So set f of x equal to 0. So that means you guys, you just set f of x equals 0, which makes the whole equation equal to 0. So 0 equals negative 2 radical x minus 1 plus 5. Now we just solve for x. Minus 5 to both sides. Negative 5 is equal to negative 2 radical x minus 1. Divide both sides by negative 2. Negative divided by negative, you guys, makes it a positive, so 5 halves, square root of x minus 1. Okay, raise both sides to the second power so that you guys get rid of that square root. So 5 squared, you guys, is just 25 all over 2 squared, which is 4, equals x minus 1. I'll just continue the work over here. Add 1 to both sides, you guys. So now this is where you guys combine your fraction with a whole number. So 25 over 4, you guys, plus 1. 1 is really 1 over 1. So I'll zoom in for this. So essentially, you guys, you have to get a common denominator. So multiply top and bottom by 4. This is going to equal to 25 over 4 plus 4 over 4. but that's simply just 29 over 4. And this is going to be your guys' x. So x is going to equal to 29 over 4. So when you guys write this down, up here, it's going to be 29 over 4, comma, 0. Alright, domain, left to right, right? So domain is all the input values which are good for our function. So basically, you guys just use your critical value. So how far left is this graph going on this curve? Well, here is the leftmost point and it's at 1. Remember, domain is only your x value. So bracket 1, 2, how far right does this graph go? To infinity. Range is how low it goes, you guys, to how high. So this graph, in terms of how low it goes, well, it goes infinitely downward. So negative infinity to how high? To 5 on your critical value. Remember, range is your guys' y value. Alright, so there's that one, you guys. Alright, so for b, I'm just going to write the equation down here. G of x is equal to 1/2 square root of negative x plus 4 minus 3. Alright, so let's make a table. So remember, here are just some good points to this graph for the first 3. Okay, so what value of x will we plug in order for us to get a square root of 0? That is going to be when x is equal to 4. So we're going to get 1/2 square root of negative 4 plus 4 minus 3, you guys. We all know negative 4 plus 4, you guys, is 0. And 0 times 1/2, you guys, is just 0 minus 3, which is negative 3. So our first coordinate, you guys, is going to be at 4, comma, negative 3. And this is your guys' critical value as well. It's the first coordinate, or starting point. Alright, so what value of x would we get 1? Well, if x was equal to no, not negative 3, to positive 3, then we would get 1. So 1/2 square root of negative 3 plus 4 minus 3. 1/2 negative 3 plus 4, you guys, is square root of 1 minus 3. Okay, so 1/2 times 1, you guys, is just, well, square root of 1, you guys, is 1. 1/2 times 1 is just 1/2 minus 3. So this is where you guys use your fractions, right? So let me rewrite this 3. So this was minus 3, right? Let's just put that over 1, and now let's get a common denominator. Multiply top and bottom by 2. 1/2 minus 6 over 2, which is simply 1 minus 6, negative 5, and you keep that same common denominator. So negative 5/2, so 3 comma negative 5 over 2. Now lastly, what value of x will give us 4 on the inside of the square root? That would be when x is equal to 0. 1/2 square root of 0, negative 0, plus 4 minus 3. That's simply 1/2 square root of 4 minus 3. 1/2 square root of 4, you guys, is 2 minus 3. 1/2 times 2, you guys, is just 2. You remember, when you times a whole number to a fraction, you guys, you just multiply the whole number to the numerator. So 2 times 1, you guys, is 2. So it's going to be 2 over 2 minus 3, which is simply 1 minus 3, which is negative 2. So 0 comma negative 2. So let's go ahead and graph those. 4 comma negative 3, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4 comma negative 3, 3 comma negative 5 has 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, right there, and 0 comma negative 2 is right there, you guys. So your guys' graph is going to look something like that. Alright, It's gonna look a little chalky. It's okay. Alright, so let's find your y-intercept. So remember, you guys, you just set x equal to 0. So substitute 0 in for x. So g of 0 is equal to 1/2 square root of negative 0 plus 4 minus 3. Well, if you guys recall, we found it right there, but I'll just do it out again. 1/2 times 2 minus 3, which essentially just got us to negative 2. So our y-coordinate is 0, negative 2. Now we gotta find our root. Or it's called x-intercept, you guys, same thing. So set g of x equal to 0. So 0 equals 1/2 square root of negative x plus 4 minus 3. So let's solve. Plus 3 to both sides. 3 equals 1/2 square root of negative x plus 4. I'm going to multiply both sides by 2, you guys, because I know that if I multiply both sides by the reciprocal of the fraction, they're going to cancel. So we're going to get 6 equals, these are going to cancel, right? Those are going to cancel each other out, so we just get square root of negative x plus 4. Raise both sides to the second, so we get rid of the square root. So now we're moving over here. 6 to the second, you guys, is 36, equals negative x plus 4, minus 4, minus 4. 32 equals negative x, divide both sides by negative 1. Negative 32 is equal to x. So that, you guys, is our root. So negative 32, comma 0. Alright, domain and range time. So let's write down the critical value, which was 4, comma negative 3. Remember, critical value, guys, is the starting value. Or starting point. Alright, how far left does this graph go? Negative infinity. How far right does it go? All the way to right there, which is 4. So 4 bracket. Range, how far low does this graph go? Well, the lowest point, you guys, is negative 3 on the curve. So bracket negative 3. How far up does this graph go? Positive infinity. And I will leave that extra credit blank, you guys, because it's extra credit for a reason. So just try to do your best on that. Alright, so there's your guys' mock quiz. Good luck studying, and yeah, good luck. Peace.